Yes, sir. Great rising to the risers, baby. This your
Yeah,
boy
yeah,
Kobe
yeah.
Rise and Rise. We back at it again with another one. You
Let's
dig? You
go.
feel me? We
Let's
got my
go.
man Showtime in the building. You dig what I'm saying? Yes, sir. As y'all can see, we getting on the late night session.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
know how
yes,
we go.
sir. How's it going, bro?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good, man. Grinding it out, man. Getting ready for school. You know, trying to get back to that system, back in teaching mode, back in the school system mode. So, man, everything is good, man. Just grinding, doing these last little summer touches. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. Good gracious. I feel like this week was just been like it's so quick. It's already Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's a
next thing you know, we
fact.
got Thursday and Friday. So, I mean, I'm,
That's a
I'm loving it,
fact.
man. I'm loving it. We got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff coming up. If y'all been watching the rises, you feel me? We've been doing a lot with this CMOS. You know what I'm saying? You seen a lot of Showtime doing this calisthenics thing. So, we just revving it up to the next level. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So, I like
for
where we're going
sure.
with this. So, I hope y'all been paying attention to the movements. So,
For
yeah,
sure, for
it's
sure.
getting real. It's getting real heavy. So, I love where we're going with this thing.
Yeah, yeah. Try to get us shared out.
Yeah, I literally just had to share it on my side.
Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So we getting it cracking, man. So we had a really good show last week, man. We talked about those misconceptions. You know what I'm saying? And it was so much info, y'all, that we really had to give y'all another one. We had to give y'all this is a part two, you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Because I think this is just one of those times where a lot of people are just they're really seeing what's going on with the food. They see what's going on with what it's doing to our bodies. I got a lot of questions, man. So many people coming up to me about the sea moss, the benefits. You know what I'm saying? I remember we talked last week where you talk about like the chicken and stuff, man. And people starting to realize that. I had two people now coming up to me talking about, they about to start moving to a plant-based diet because they just don't know anymore. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so they don't really necessarily know what's safe, what's not safe, but they realize that it's other people that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's actually knowing about the food that we eat and just being knowledgeable of it. So of course they're gonna come to the people who's speaking about it. So they come to the show, they listen to the show, and then they hit us up and like, yo, what is this? What is this? So I don't know if you've gotten. I know I've gotten tons of questions like that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Always. Yep. Yeah. Yes, sir.
That's real
Um,
talk. But
and
yeah,
I'll just dive right into it, man. Something I just heard just recently, and I wanted to share this, man. I saved it. So a young lady, we do my man, Wolf of Health, he do a run in the park, man. Every Sunday, we just wake up really early and get all the people, um, you know, get people active, man. His whole movement is just trying to promote health. But one of the young ladies, man, she said something, man, that really stuck with me, man. Um, she was just speaking about she had some fruit. You feel me? Like we was out there in the morning, we was pushing it to the max, and so she had some cherries, and we got to talking about, I was letting her know how, man, I've been I've never had a cherry with a pit inside of it or with a seed
really,
inside of it. Yeah, in the pit. So I even got cherries right now, man. I think these are the kind that you dress like your ice cream or put on your it's a topping. So
yeah,
basically, and that's what I was used to. You feel me? So those type of cherries that are doused with sweeteners and just extra, modified things.
yep,
But long story short, man, she said something that stuck with me. She was like, she when I started telling her how it's so hard for me, especially in my area, being in this food desert, it's hard for me to really consume and get good fruits and vegetables, good organic fruits and vegetables, because us being, in the field that we're in, we can kind of tell the difference. We've been here a little bit, so we can
hmm
kind of tell the difference. We know, what the difference, like I always speak about those bananas. I can literally tell, that the bananas at my local food line, my local Walmart, those aren't the quality. They used to
that's real.
have the different options. They used to have the different options where you could get organic and you can get, whatever the other one is. But now it's just like, no, you got to get this,
Mm.
So long story short, man, she just mentioned she's not really into the organic yet. you know. And that's it's still plant based. But what I was saying was she said she's not really into eating organic, but she basically said it beats, it's I'm working in stages, so she said I used to snack on candy, Skittles, Starburst, and now I'm trying to slowly transition, so I just wanted to definitely point that out. That is a good step, when you're
Yes,
trying to, when you're trying to get this vegan or plant-based or whatever your goals are. She brought something to my attention because I was hitting her with all this, like, the same stuff I always talk about. Just trying to find good organic. It's like they're sliding in, whatever they want nowadays. It's kind of like it's being replaced, and you really have to go to those markets and really have to search and find just to get some nice organic foods. So
that's real. That's real. And even
definitely,
then,
man.
like just to add in, like if you're gonna go to the stores, we spoke about it last week, but I'll even double down with it. So look at those codes on the fruits, and if it begins with the 9, that's gonna be on the more organic side. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you're going to search, start looking for those barcodes on the fruit. If you're gonna go to an actual conventional store like a Food Line, a Walmart, a Harris Teeter, you know what I'm saying? These local stores that we normally go to anyway. That'll kind of help, buy the organic stuff if you're not really sure about it. And I actually like the organic bananas better than the regular bananas. You did. They have a better taste to them. I know Harris Teeter, they always keep them in stock. But for me, I know normally when I see them, they're always green. So I try to wait till they get that brown, that yellow brown, because that's when it's actually ripe and it tastes better anyway. So like if you do buy the organic bananas, you'll see them green. And if you have to buy them green, what you do is there's like a normal, like a wrap around the stems of them. Take the wrap off and let it get some air so that way it can continue to ripen outside of the refrigerator, of course. So then you'll start to see it turn more yellow and more brown quicker. So the more brown that you see on the banana is actually good. Mostly yellow, of course. Now you don't want it all the way brown. Just make sure it's mostly yellow, but it's okay to have those brown spots on it. That just means it's more ripe.
For sure, for sure, for sure. But yeah, that was it, man. I wanted to definitely open it up with that. With I like that concept. Just kind of taking it in stages.
Yep.
We had a long discussion, and she pointed out, like you said as well, man, just knowing those numbers, looking into some of those numbers. But if you can't 110% convert, go in stages. It definitely beats, like I said, man, it beats snacking on those Skittles, those Starbursts, or those candies, especially if you have issues with those. If sweets is one of your issues with your weight loss goals, with your health goals, if sweets are an issue, definitely, just try to start with just some fruits, you know.
Yeah.
Any kind. Don't necessarily get too hung up on the names. We spoke about that before too. Don't necessarily get too hung up. You get, in stages. Definitely, be patient with yourself. Be patient with your growth. Don't try to do it all at once if you can't. If
That's
yeah.
real. No, that's real talk. And even I'll give a different, a similar approach, but a little bit different. Just bringing some light to it, just to give y'all some numbers. Based on the site npr.org, they speak a lot about health on this site, and they talk about the U.S. diet is becoming more severe in the case of just deaths. They've had over nearly 900 deaths per day, which are linked to poor diet.
Mm.
So just think about the pandemic highlighted that problem and it made it much, much worse for the outcomes of people who may not necessarily are on the fitter side. So maybe they're a little bit more obese or other diet related issues that caused or are linked to those death issues. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I would consider this, and even they spoke about it in the post, in a nutritional crisis in the country. So this isn't just one to one person. This is a global thing here, especially in the nation. So I want to say that there are other options and there are ways that you can do to change your mindset around food. So they talked about like 7 amazing topics. One of them was to have the mindset of treat food as your medicine. And I know these are very, very what's the word, cliche, because we speak about this a lot, but we don't really know the depths of it. And I'll just give what they said, and I'll just kind of give my take on each one, and I'll let you chime in too on Showtime. So the first one was just to treat food like medicine. I think that's very basic. The second was to focus on the quality of the calories and not necessarily the quantity of the calories. The third one was to expand your access to different dietary needs and lifestyle. So they're saying consult with people who are doing these things, like so, speak with your dietitian, speak with your clinicians, different things like that to help you adjust your lifestyle to the what we have going on right now in this world. Also, just look at different food options. Just broaden your horizons when it comes to food. If you normally eat apples all the time, try transition into bananas, try transition into melons, try transition into grapes. So you have a wide variety of things which will give you different vitamins and different nutrients for your body. Also, just go to different food stores, go to healthy food stores as well. Anything that's going to be catered to like a farmer, like a farmer's market, go to these type of stores. I'm gonna give you one example. So Harris Teeter, they actually have something to where they have local farmers come and bring in, you know, like different fruits and vegetables to them, and they'll actually tell you this is from a farmer's market. This is from such and such farmer. Even get your kids involved. So just having a family, having a community that is on health. So try to find you a good tribe to be around. Very very healthy wise. So I mean, I think this is a pretty good list, and just to chime in on it, I treat food as medicine anyway. That's why I'm on a mostly alkaline plant based diet. You
Yeah.
dig what I'm saying? What's going on, Ernest? Yes, sir. But yeah. So I already do that, and I think it doesn't go unnoticed. We should be paying for our food based interventions, is what they stated. So I typically, like, if I'm tired, I know I probably need to eat something or I probably need to rest. So I treat it as my medicine. And the quality of the calories come from the lifestyle of mostly plant-based alkaline. And so that's what I know. Most of the alkaline plant-based veggies and fruits, that's going to give me the energy. So that's going to give me a better quality of calories because I know that it's fueling my body for what I need it to. I know I'm trying to gain weight. I know I'm trying to gain muscle. I'm also going to have to increase testosterone as I continue through my day. So there are going to be foods out there that's going to increase your androgen levels. These are things called quinoa. That's your habanero peppers. That's your spirulina. So eating and digesting these type of foods is going to fuel your androgen receptors. So that way you can naturally increase your testosterone. So it's not necessarily unhealthy for you, but it balances everything. So that way you can now utilize what you got to do for your workouts. So these are just some of the things that I do that goes and correlates into what this article is talking about. And even talking to a dietitian, and I speak to a lot of different people. I actually know a dietitian that goes to the gym with me, and they speak about broadening their horizons, and they're even plant based now. They do mostly plant based, just because they've seen the benefits of what the food does. So even if a clinician and a dietitian is telling me this too, this is almost kind of backing it up to what I'm saying is true. And same thing with just finding other people that's giving you the game, because there's food out there or there's recipes out there that I didn't even know of that now I'm incorporating into my diet. Like I was speaking to one of my friends at the gym, and they're on a plant-based diet as well, so they gave me pasta recipes. They told me to crush up walnuts and pecans
Mm.
as your meat, and I was like, really? So I said, let me try it. So I cooked my chickpea pastas and all that, put the sauce. I tried different sauces and put the nuts in there, mixed it together. Man, and it was like an extra feeling, and it was clean. It was a clean feeling. It didn't sit on you, and I felt great. And it added more protein to the diet, and it's good for macros,
Mhm.
So I think these are really good steps, and those are just some of the things that I went through personally that pretty much backed up what the article was saying. So I don't know what you think about that too, Show.
For sure, man. I'm like you said, I treat food as medicine too. Everybody around me will tell you, one of the first things I'll do if you sick or if you in the hospital, man. My uncle was just recently hospitalized. For my first question is that what they say, what can we do to get better? What do we need to adjust? What foods do we need to be eating? What foods do we need to be taking away? And I try not to be that guy because when you sick, you don't want to hear it. Oh man, now here come this healthy dude. He coming in here going to take away all my meals, but it's real.
Yeah,
It's the reality. A lot of times, our sicknesses, our illnesses, like the statistics will show, it comes directly from what we're consuming.
Yep.
And shouts out to my man Ernest again. I seen him repost a quote. Like I said, man, today it's not the same food as we used to eat. This is not the same food we used to eat. Today's foods is not yesterday's foods. This is a whole
Right.
different type of ball game. I was telling my mom about the movie Founder. I was telling, watch the movie. You'll see how, just we were more focused on economics throughout history. Like it's been like that. He took a small franchise with integrity and was more concerned about branching it out. Now you see McDonald's everywhere. And I believe, McDonald's is more, I think I heard they're more, they make a lot of money on real estate,
They
just
do.
that location. You
Yep.
feel me? So we're not concerned about what you're consuming, so I said that to say definitely that food is medicine, man. I agree with it. I'm one of those guys, man. When if it, God forbid anything happened to me, I'm gonna ask my doctor. I don't want the medications. I don't
Real
want the
talk.
medication. My mom, no, my aunt, they used to get on me all the time. I don't want the medications. How can I fix this problem naturally with foods, with natural organic foods? That was part of my prime reason for being primarily plant-based, is because I wanted to fix a lot of those issues that I had, that I built, that I was, contributing to coming up and just eating any type of way. I got really lax with my eating. I was no discipline when I went to the military. Fast food, this, a lot of extracurricular, this, so that food is medicine is big. And like you said, man, quality over quantity. Consume good quality carbs. I mean, good quality calories and good quality
And
carbs
quality cars too. Yeah.
and good
They,
quality
they all go hand
protein,
in hand.
hand in hand. So I definitely love those points, man. That's something like you said. I'm in it too, man. I would rather a good fruit than a bag of chips. Good quality calories than a bag of, like I quoted, like I started with that young lady that she said, man, it hit me so much. She was like, you know what? Because I'm kicking it to her. I'm like, man, I can't get real fruits, and we're having a discussion. But she's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not even at that organic stage. She probably consumes organic fruit, but that's not the main focus. My main focus was getting away from some of those sweets, is what she said. She knew her weaknesses was candy. She knew when, whether it working out or whether it was whatever. I would grab a bag of candy, some Starburst and Skittles, I think was her exact words,
Mm.
so a quality calorie, get some quality calories, not those snacks that's going to crave your curvings, that's going to crave your, well, you know what I'm getting at,
Yeah, for
as far as
sure. I know exactly what you
that's
mean.
gonna crave those curvings, those, I can't get it out, but yeah, so just finding something that's better, that's more quality, than your regular sweeteners and different things. So
That's real. That's real, man. And I wanted to add in this too, to even back you up, like just some of the things that that we spoke about. We talked about like the Popeyes chickens and all that with different ingredients. And I just wanted to show y'all just some of the stuff that's actually in these foods. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can look at all these chemicals in here. A lot of
yeah,
these are chemicals and not necessarily anything natural. So, but as you can see, natural and artificial flavors. So, just to let y'all know, man, an artificial flavor, you already know what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? So we want to try to lessen the chemicals, your potassium sorbates. You know what I'm saying? We want to try to eliminate a lot of these sodium sterol lactates. These chemicals that doesn't they just don't sound like food. A lot of the stuff you can really look up. And that's some of the things that's going to make us either tired. These are some of the things that's going to make us more prevalent to diseases, because as y'all guys know, and I even go as far as the cancers. So for cancer to grow in your body, your body has to be bred for cancer to grow in your body. And so meaning you have to, it's almost like a garden. In order for you to grow fruits in your garden, you have to have nourished soil. You have to have the right amount of sunlight. You have the right amount of water. And that's what breeds the seed to grow. So think about that like cancer. But instead, it's not sunlight, it's not water, it's not the soil, it's your body and chemicals. The chemicals are going to be what you're feeding your body to prep cancer to grow into it. And a lot of the stuff has got to do with your diet. Most of it is going to be what you diet, what you eat, what you don't eat. These are the things that's going to breed your body to have cancer grow into it. And so just wanted to give y'all a look and just to show you some of the stuff that's in a regular biscuit, which we think should only really be flour, maybe some seasonings and maybe some water, or if you want to add milk, whatever, but that's it. It's really shouldn't be any more than, this is a lot more than what I would think to be going into a biscuit, right? And this is what goes into what we talked about before with what is banned and what's not banned in certain countries. They don't allow certain chemicals in foods. Like if you go to the UK, I'm sure there's none of this in that biscuit or flour or whatever that they're going to use, because a lot of theirs is banned because they don't do the chemicals like we do. And on top of that, we have more sicknesses too in the US as well. A lot of them catered towards, and I just read the facts. 900 of those deaths, they're linked to what we eat. And so just want to give y'all a visual too of what we have going on. And that way we can be more understanding. So when you go into these stores, read the labels, read the ingredients on the back of the labels, and do your research. Really, just do your research and see what you're digesting. Because I'm sure if you really looked at it, you would think twice and say, maybe I probably shouldn't be doing this. Let me do something else.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's pretty much what I had to finish it up. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to understand the different misconceptions that we have, in the foods, the whole plant-based vegan, and, just to give y'all just a basic understanding of, like, don't be confused about it. Just do your research on what it is that you're putting into your body. If it really doesn't seem like it should be in there, you probably shouldn't eat it anyway. That's what I'll leave you with.
And I just want to add to that, man. We was keeping this episode short and sweet tonight, so I won't even go too far in depth. But you Cobe hit on some good points, and I want you guys to just understand that. I'm not a physician, but definitely, man, I believe it was referenced in that movie What the Health. About the contributing factors, how what we eat does contribute to those cancer cells. It does contribute to that cancer virus. And I've heard of stories where, a lot of times when you're going through the chemos and the different type of therapies and the different type of things, cancer-based things, they're feeding you some of the same stuff that may be hurting you. And I've heard of people that overcome those cancers and that really survive because they choose a plant-based way of living. They choose to eat plant-based, the plant-based diet. They choose to switch it. They choose to not consume some of that food. And I've heard of different cases, and you can look that up as well. Just how not choosing not to eat that hospital food or whatever, that's being given to you, and just kind of going with that plant-based diet has helped people. So just definitely just understand that some of those misconceptions, a big takeaway for me is just realize, we're just, it's a different world. It's a different time, eating in today's society. This is part 2. And, that's a good quote. I like what Ernest was saying, don't necessarily beat yourself up too much on what you're reaping, just kind of key in on what you're sowing, just kind of focus a little bit. Yeah, just focus a little. And I broke that down as just kind of focus a little bit on some of those steps, slowly focus on those steps. Don't beat yourself up about, the fact that you did this or the fact that you got that or man, I got to lose these pounds, man. Just take it slow. Focus on what you're sowing. Take it a step at a time.
That's real.
That's what I have.
And you know what, man? We'll leave the last quote with Ernest, man. What he said was powerful, because I think that kind of sums up what this whole episode is about. Is stop beating yourself up over what you've been reaping, and just start changing what you're sowing. And so the way I take it is I take it like a garden. So whatever you're reaping up is caused by what you're sowing into the ground, because what comes up is what is a result of what we've been sowing into the ground anyway, or what's being transpired underneath. So that's why they say everything underneath always comes to the light. Well, if there's something bad coming up that's reaping, that's probably because in the darkness there's been some mess. So it's coming to the light to show you what the darkness has been showing. So if you're sowing the right seeds into the ground, then you'll reap something great. You'll bear the fruit, and that I'll take with life really. So if you don't like the outside sources, if you don't like the sicknesses, and you don't like the way you're feeling, or it could be anything like that. If you don't like the way you're thinking, when you wake up in the morning, a lot of that has to do with what are you sowing? What are you putting into your body? What are you reading? What are you eating? What are you not eating? What are you drinking? What are you not drinking? These are some of the things that will come out to the light, because you can tell us all day you're healthy, but the outside factors will always show. And I will always go back to, well, what is your intake? What is your diet looking like? What is your day-to-day task look like? How are you managing yourself? Are you balancing yourself out? These are things that's going to take a lot of different sowings. So changing what you're sowing. So sometimes you may not necessarily be feeling good because you're not going to bed at a decent time. You have to now start to change the way you go to sleep. Maybe the time you got to go to sleep. Maybe you have to start incorporating more watermelon in your diet to give you more hydration. So those are different things you can sow within yourself so you can reap the benefits. And I know you've heard that before. You want to reap the benefits of what it is that you're sowing. And that comes from the changing of your mindset. And it also goes with the changing of your habits and making this consistent day to day to day till you can get a better reap. So, yeah, I'll give that last word to Ernest, man, for sure. We appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in on the late night session. You dig?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Appreciate
already
it.
know what we doing, man. We appreciate everybody for coming out. And as the show goes, when faced with an obstacle, what we do
We rise and rise, baby. Peace.
is